Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight in the Community Show. We've got an iconic group that works with special populations since 1980. Just the sort of the poster child for how to do it right with this group, TERI Incorporated. We have a guest coming in, Natalie Hill, Director of Equestrian for the TERI Campus of Life. How you doing, Natalie?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Fine. How long have you been involved with TERI?
So I have been on staff for 13 years, and then I volunteered before that for about 3 years. So I started my senior year of high school because I needed community service credit for graduation. And that's how I learned about TERI and therapeutic riding, was just volunteering for 3 years, and then it morphed into what it is now.
Where'd you go to high school?
I was actually homeschooled.
Up in the North County or where?
I grew up here in San Diego.
Did you? Okay, very good. Joined by Kathy Sebuck. How long has it been since I've seen you?
Probably 2 or 3 years.
Oh my, what have you been doing besides killing it with Marchitecture and all that business?
Playing with horses.
Playing with horses. Very good. Are you a horse person? Are you now a horse person? Have you always been a horse person?
I'm a horse person now. See, you can always learn something new.
Trust me, there's a lot of things I can learn in all that business. She's the founder and CEO of Marchitecture. Joined by my co-host, Ian Solomon. He is a senior at San Diego State, majoring in leadership studies, and he has a question right out of the gate. And we'll start with you on that, Natalie. Go ahead.
So I was wondering if you could tell us a little about the mission of your organization.
Yeah, so like we said earlier, we were founded in 1980, and our founder and CEO, Cheryl Kilmer, had done an internship at a hospital and got to see what the standard of care was for people with disabilities, and was appalled and decided that she needed to start her own nonprofit, bring her own services out, and support our population, provide an example for the types of services that our guys should be able to have. So the mission is to provide adult day programs, non-public schools, respite programs, residential homes, basically services for all walks of life within that scope of disabilities, and support the families as well.
Yeah, and I say this all the time on the show when we have folks on from TERI, or whether it's Noah Homes, or whether it's all the wonderful groups that are there, that I hope I'm still alive when there's no stigma with this, for God's sake. And like maybe I'm Pollyanna, but no one said Drew and Pollyanna in the same sentence. I'll tell you that right now. But listen, or with mental health, it shouldn't be a stigma. We all know that. You guys know it better than anybody in that area. I'll start with you on this, Natalie, and see what you can add to that too, Kathy. Are we seeing more and more people understand that this population significantly gives back more in this world than they get credit for?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every individual has a purpose in this life. And we are trying to help each individual realize their capacity and develop their skills and giftings, and integrate them into the community, and integrate the community into what we're doing with our guys as well. So that's what our campus in San Marcos, the Campus of Life, is for. We provide our services for our guys and bring them in to help just spread awareness into the community and be that spotlight in the community, no pun intended.
That's a good pun intended. I can do that. Kathy, talk about Marchitecture. You founded it, you do it. What exactly is it?
That's a good question. What is it? So after 25 years in corporate tech, I figured, it's time to do something different. And because small to medium businesses, startups, and nonprofits usually don't get the same kind of tech resources or corporate communications resources, because, for funding reasons and all kinds of others, I launched the company in 2019 to basically become a strategist or a fractional CMO to help companies build those strategies from a marketing communication standpoint, from a digital marketing, messaging, branding, all those kinds of things that actually help you, sell your business and engage. And so when I moved to San Diego during the pandemic in 2020, I got re-engaged in this community and did some mentoring at UCSD, which is how I actually met one of your lovely staff members. And I've spent a lot of time doing some community work. And so through that business consulting and that mentorship, in addition to my own client base, which can be, tech companies and startups, it can be anything. It's because obviously we all know everybody needs communication skills. So while I was doing most of that, I was also playing around with team building and leadership coaching because some of my coaches were leadership coaches. And I've always been kind of in that space and came across TERI Campus of Life, literally online. I was like, I wonder if I really got into this leadership horse work, or what we're calling equine assisted learning, EAL, which is now equine assisted services. Could I find a location that actually would support team building with horses? It's not new to the horse community, but it's new to the corporate folks. So I started to volunteer at TERI last summer and sat down with Natalie early and said, I have this idea and I'm working on a certification. And I think this is an entrepreneurial opportunity for TERI to actually add these types of services to the community and to businesses in addition to your therapeutic riding program. And so here we are.
We've had on our friends from, I know I'm going to blow the name, you probably know them, on East, I think they're on the East or Ramona or something like that, Riding Above.
Ride Above Disability.
The best. And so we've had, them on, and of course we've had some of the folks that are on the spectrum on, okay? And one of my favorite interviews when we had a gentleman on that he had a horse, loved the horse, you can tell he was on the spectrum, and his mom is sitting in there where Brandon is sitting right now, our senior associate producer, and we're chatting and all that. And how do you like doing this? Oh, I really like being involved with the horse, yada yada yada. And he goes, Drew, I gotta say something to you. I go, yeah, what's that? You're a chatterbox. The mom fainted, and I laughed, and I said, you know what? That is very, very intuitive of you, because I have to be a chatterbox on my show. The mom is going, are you kidding me? The CEO is on the ground dying of laughter on that. So I'm being a little ahead of myself here, but I would love to have clients, not to break any HIPAA laws or any of that, come in and join us the next time you're doing this. Always been interested in horses, Natalie?
Yeah, I've been riding since I was 5.
Okay.
And never showed, but worked with them just for fun as a kid growing up. I took lessons, and I also exchanged cleaning out stalls, exchanged that for free use of my friends' horses and lessons. And so just kind of worked with anybody that would teach me and anybody that had a horse available.
And how many horses do you have now? Or are they all up at TERI?
So I manage the TERI herd, which is 9 horses, and then I have 2 of my own on the side. So.
Very, very, very good. How many horses do you have now, Kathy?
All of TERI's.
Very good, very good. I was expecting both of you guys to come riding in on a horse. Now, we have had animals on the show. We have. We have. We've had turtles. We've had the owl from down in South County. We've had little, lizards and all that business. We love animals.
Sounds like a field trip.
Maybe next time we can bring our minis, Jack and Jill.
You know what? Good. Or I can go up there and see if I can get on a horse and get bucked off into that aspect of it. Ian, you got a question for Natalie?
I'm really interested in what this nervous system reset is and the importance of that for the overall well-being. Yeah.
So our clients that get to participate with the horses, a lot of them are sensory seeking or their nervous systems are overstimulated. It just depends on the individual. But the wonderful thing about horses is they can provide whatever feedback somebody is needing. So if they're needing physical stimulation, they're seeking stimulation and sensory, putting them on the horse, that physical input that they're getting from the horse helps calm their nervous system. It stimulates the central nervous system. It helps regulate them. The even movement and the tempo of the horse's movement is very calming for somebody that might be overstimulated. And then if they're looking for sensory, they're getting all of that as well. So really the horse is doing the same thing, but people can get, different, their own needs met out of all of that. And so even just working on the ground with them, being around them, they have a very large magnetic field and their energy field is much larger. And so our nervous systems tend to synchronize a little bit more to their calmer nervous system.
We'll come back from break. I want to talk about the TERI Equine Experience, as well as what our listeners can do to help support this, and are always fascinated on this topic. And we love talking about this. We love talking about neuroscience and everything that's in between. We return with our friends from TERI Inc., Natalie Hill, Director of Equestrian for TERI Campus of Life, joined by her colleague Kathy Sebuck, founder and CEO of Marchitecture. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast in our 20th year. Pretty proud of that. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 6 decades of doing great things in San Diego County, whether it's food insecurity, whether it's financial literacy, or everything in between. And we will be right back after this short break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We are, let's get another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, talking about all the cool things happening at TERI Incorporated Campus of Life. Natalie Hill is the director of Equestrian, joined by her colleague, Kathy Sebuck, now a huge horse fan, founder and CEO of Marchitecture, joined by my colleague, Ian Solomon. He is a senior at San Diego State, majoring in leadership studies. Ian, you have another question for Natalie.
Yeah, so can you tell me a little bit about the, correct me if I'm saying this wrong, TERI Equine, the experience program launch? Did I say that right?
TERI Equine Experience.
Okay.
That's okay. You were close. And I knew what you were talking about.
Okay.
So the TERI Equine Experience, this is something that is open to the public. So our therapeutic riding program, that's all in-house for our clients that are at our day programs in schools. So what we wanted to do was open up the magic therapeutic benefits that the horses provide our guys, but we want to be able to open that up to the public. So the TERI Equine Experience was born out of Kathy and my brainstorming about how we can open up these workshops and bring this to the public. So the TERI Equine Experience can be geared towards corporate groups. It can be geared towards individuals, small teams. And really what they get to do is come and have an unmounted experience with the horses. It can be tailored to whatever each individual or each group wants to get out of the experience. Kathy, did you want to expand a little bit more on that?
Sure. So we have one-to-one experiences. So all certified facilitators on the ground, no riding. So a lot of people are afraid of horses, haven't been around horses. This is for everyone.
Can you ride if you want it?
It's not a riding program. So it's all on the ground, it's groundwork, and it's interactive experiences with the horses. So we have a playbook of multiple experiences where we do group activities, we do one-to-one activities, and so you actually interact with the horse like a teammate. And so you think about, everybody's been to a team building day. They go to ropes courses, they do, trust falls, whatever they do, but I bet they haven't had a 12-pound teameate.
1,200 pounds.
Excuse me, 1,200 pounds.
Actually, that's one of the smallest horses.
Well, we do have minis, but yeah.
They're more than 12 pounds.
So a 1,200-pound teammate that is actually standing next to you, working with you, and giving you feedback during those exercises while regulating your nervous system. So like you said, you're chatty. I bet after you stand next to the horse for about 15 minutes, your nervous system's going to calm down and you might not be as chatty. But we like your chattiness, so we welcome that.
So, you talking about me personally or Ian or all of us?
All of the above.
Okay. So are you literally holding onto the horse?
You can be.
Okay, you can be. Okay.
So sometimes you're next to the horse doing something. Sometimes you're interacting and actually doing activities like a group activity where you're building obstacles and you're leading the horse through. Now, we understand that people don't have those skills, so we give them the hands-on skills before we do that. We talk extensively about safety and what you need to pay attention to. But because our horses are therapy focused, they're obviously much more calming and they're used to this kind of activity. So it's really about your connection to yourself. And then when you're connected and grounded, you can connect with the horse and then the horse will follow you.
Do you get to feed the horse?
You can.
Okay. The reason why I say that, my business partner, one of the businesses I have is in Belgrade, Montana. He's on a 20-acre farm and he's got horses. And so he taught me how to lasso, over here, after I hung myself the first time I did it, pretty much. But he's got a massive horse. And so him and his wife are saying, Drew, the horse isn't going to, take your hand off here. Feed him a carrot. And this thing is, I'll show you a picture of it off when the show is over. But it was, to your point, it was so cool being next to both of those horses.
It's like a big dog.
Well, this was a huge
dog.
Huge, massive dog and all that. But to the point, now that I think of it, it's exactly what you talked about. I didn't say a word. I'm just right next to the horse.
And I felt better.
I just thought it was just something that was very, very cool, and being on the outdoors in this aspect of it. Talk about how the clients of TERI react to the horses. How do they do it? Same thing as anyone would be?
Yeah, so same thing. We're all individual human beings with the same nervous system. So, they're going to have the same reaction that you and I are going to have when we're up with the horses. We'll see people that, again, their nervous system settle, they become more regulated. And when they're more regulated, they're in a more learning state. They're in a learning frame of mind, so we can teach new skills and support that while they're riding the horses. They grow in confidence and self-esteem. We provide vocational training for individuals that are very high functioning and can go out and get jobs into the community, but we're just giving them some vocational training and skills. You see a huge boost in their self-confidence as they're building up their skills. It's really fun.
And are you a horse person, Ian?
I'm not, but I'm really interested in learning more about because you said before that the magnetic energies of the horse is much bigger than, let's say, humans. Mm-hmm. So I want to hear what's really going on there, where you're interacting with the horse. Do we just match their frequencies, and is that why we're able to get into that different headspace, feel different, or what's really going on there?
So some of the science shows that horses will match our energy and then bring their energy down and bring us down with them.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that people have discovered. There's more. There's a science called heart math that Kathy knows a little bit more on.
So if you really want to get into the real science behind it, so heart math has been around since 1991, and they've been researching the electromagnetic field and the regulation or the coherence of your heart. So when you think about athletes and they get in their zone and they're trying to get into that calming state so they can perform at their best, that's all science and regulation. And so then they actually went out and did research with horses and looked at what they call their HRV, or their heart variability rate, and looked before and after. So if you came into the arena and you had a wearable, like an Apple Watch, and you looked at your heart rate, let's say your resting heart rate's 85. After you're done, I would be shocked if it didn't come down. And so you can actually track and manage this kind of change, just like athletes do when they train, or just like you can feel the difference. When you walk into the arena, you might be a little nervous because you're a little apprehensive. The horses are big. And once you connect with them and you ground yourself and you actually get comfortable, as they calm you, you calm yourself, then you can actually play and have fun with them, and you just feel better. So and we've seen all the people that come in, when they leave the arena, they feel better, they're happier, and they're more grounded. And so that in itself, you can see it and feel it. So you can't argue that it's not happening.
Can you tell us about the story of Jared?
Yeah. So Jared was one of my first clients that I got to work with when I came on as an instructor. And he is wheelchair bound. He doesn't have super effective use of his arms, legs, and doesn't sit up independently. And he had the opportunity to start riding. And so I had just started instructing, and he was not able to sit up on his own on the horse. So we would put him on the horse, and then I would sit behind him and physically hold him on the horse. And he had very low stamina. We could go maybe 1 or 2 times around the arena when we started, and that was great. I mean, he's getting out of his chair, he's exercising, that's awesome. If he never progressed past that, that's still a win. But as we were riding and we were consistently getting him on, I worked on teaching him how to find his center of balance. So as he would start to slide to one side, I would allow him to feel that and wait for him to kind of have that startle reaction, like, oh, I better do something about it. Now, he couldn't physically get himself back in the middle, but I would wait for his brain and his nervous system to kick in and be like, oh, I need to move myself. And so then I would move him back to the middle. And then he'd kind of slide to the other side, and I'd wait until I felt him respond, and then I'd put him back. And after a while, I realized I'm sitting there with him, but I'm just not doing anything anymore. So we decided to try having him ride without me behind him. And we still had a harness on that we supported him with. But he was able to ride without me, and
Wow.
he had developed enough core strength and stability and found his center of balance that he could ride without me. And then as he developed a little bit more range of motion, his arms and legs began to soften. He's very rigid and kind of high tone. But the movement of the horse kind of helped stimulate and soften all of his muscles, and his nervous system calmed down, and everything was being able to settle. And we got his feet to where they could fit into the stirrups, which is the little platform that you put your feet in when you're riding. So we were able to eventually bring his legs all the way down to where he could get contact with the stirrup. And as soon as his feet made contact, it was like his entire nervous system came online. And he was able to
Wow.
start using his hands to support himself on the saddle, which he's never done anything like that. He put his hands onto the saddle and was able to hold himself up with his hands and support himself. And then he got to the point where he got such good balance, he didn't even need to use his hands, and he kept bringing his hands up. And so we handed him the reins, and he started holding the reins. And he got to the point where instead of us physically supporting him on his torso and on his legs, it got to the point where we could just put our hand on the inside of his ankle and allow him to ride that way. We're still walking alongside him in case something happens. But from going from in a wheelchair, never able to sit up independently, to being able to sit on a horse and ride without much physical intervention was just a huge win. And that's over the course of years. That took a long time to develop that. But That was just one of my favorite experiences that, I just got to see firsthand how powerful over a long-term time frame this work can be.
Yeah, well, that story is eye-watering, to be honest with you. That is unbelievable. I'll start with you on this, Kathy, and then pivot over to Natalie. What can we do? What can our listeners do? We got some pretty good philanthropic or community-oriented listeners who've been doing this for quite a while to support either Marchitecture or what TERI is doing. What can we do?
So we're really trying to get this out in the community because we know that the physical benefits of these engagement opportunities with horses on the ground, even without riding, is really something that can help calm people down in this current state where everybody's pretty stressed. There's a lot going on. We got a lot of issues
Out of control.
publicly, privately, politically. There's so much going on. People are unsettled. And so
No kidding.
getting people back into an outdoor arena and actually spending 2 or 3 hours with the horses really can help your overall well-being. I just attended a conference a couple weeks ago for behavioral health tech and talking about corporate wellness and really talking about people's overall well-being and how do we help people de-stress and decompress. And this is one of those opportunities.
So if I were to wave the magic wand and 8 billion people had a horse, are there 8 billion horses in the world? Probably not. Maybe, who knows? You are so spot on. We have never been in...
We've never been more stressed.
Ever.
Right.
And the sad thing is, it's everybody. Really sad is the young folks who are really don't have the coping skills like some adults, not all adults, exactly, have. And you cannot talk about the mental crisis enough.
Agreed.
You cannot talk about solutions that you folks have empirical evidence. What a shock, in that aspect of it. So that is great advice. Natalie, what else can we do besides that?
We're just trying to get the word out there. And I want to make the distinction, TERI does the therapeutic horseback riding for our clients, but we've gotten to see that wonderful thing that they do for our clients, and we want to share that with more people. We want to open that up to people that don't have a chance to ride or don't have a chance to interact with horses and bring that new experience to them. So the more we can get this out there and let people know that there's a different way to learn how to regulate yourself and take that into your life, into your work, into all your relationships. We want to get that out there as much as possible.
So, promise you'll come back on sooner than later. Bring the 12-pound horse in.
We can. Well, and actually, Drew, one of the things we are doing in February is we're having a special event at TERI at the Campus of Life, and we're showing an indie documentary film called Rescued Hearts.
Okay, what day is that?
That's on. Are you ready? Valentine's Day.
February 14th.
Valentine's Day. Okay, I'm sure I'll be free. Let's see. So, but I think we might be able to. We can work with you on this, Natalie and Kathy, as maybe doing a remote from there.
Oh, that
day.
Yeah.
And then, obviously make sure it's right when the film is going on.
Sure.
Let's talk about that offline.
Sure.
Let's look about you folks, maybe coming in. We'll talk to Charles about doing that on the 14th and then having you folks come back in.
That'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
We cannot talk about this enough.
Okay.
And, it's going to be good, as you guys already know what the scientific evidence behind it is just huge. Natalie Hill, it's so nice to meet you, and thank you for what you're doing. Kathy, good to see you again.
You too. Thanks, Drew.
Of course, absolutely, and we'll look forward to having return appearances. Ian, another great job as a co-host. And to our listeners, we hope you enjoyed this conversation with Natalie Hill, Director of Equestrian for TERI Campus of Life, and Kathy Sebuck, founder and CEO of Marchitecture. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.